Welcome to Coffee Conversations from the Coffee Shops. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we are here today to celebrate Para-Latinos, to celebrate their MVPs, and also Hispanic Heritage Month. I tell you what, we are so proud to have our coffee shops and Espanol program and work so closely with SRS and all of these amazing folks that you're going to meet today. Before we get started, let's start with a little bit of housekeeping. This is being recorded and it will be available within 24 to 48 hours. So be sure to share it with your friends, share it within your company. This is the kind of information that makes our industry rock. It is so vital. I'm such a huge part of the roofing culture. So please share that. Also, the chat is open. Of course it is. And we are ready. Megan's already in the chat. Please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're calling from. And questions, emojis, comments, you name it, all the way through for the next hour. We're going to have a fun time together. So thank you so much. And a huge, huge thank you to SRS, who is sponsoring this conversation. SRS was the first ones out there, Para-Latinos. You're going to meet Julissa in a minute. They have done such an amazing job for our Latina community, Latina and Latino community within roofing. So thank you, SRS, for always leading the way. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, I am so proud and honored to welcome Julissa Chavez to the show. Julissa, welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Heidi. Good morning, everyone. Super excited to be having coffee with you all this morning, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month. And I am very thrilled to be able to be joined with a lot of my really close friends who are on this coffee conversation today. So thanks, everybody, for joining.
I love it. I love it. Now, Julissa, tell us just a little bit about what you do with SRS and just tell us what you do.
Okay, so I'm a jack of all trades, but no, I've been with SRS for the last 10 years. I was a prior territory manager in the Atlanta market. That's kind of where I got my start in the roofing industry. The last 5 years, I've been on the marketing side of the business, and I've been building our Hispanic contractor programs, really just talking to all parts of the customer journey from SRS, all the touch points we have with all our customers, and just really focusing on how do we ensure that the Hispanic customer is always on our mind anytime we think of innovation, anytime that we think of sales strategies, marketing strategies, recruitment strategies, and really just, being kind of a voice for the community on, how do we make the industry better? What are the
Ah,
resources that we can provide and the information more than anything for our Hispanic roofing community. So pretty excited to be doing something that I always dreamed about, and I get to do it every day. So the future looks really bright and it looks really shiny, especially when you're able to collaborate with superstars like all of us on this call today. So
yeah.
yeah, really excited, and thank you, Heidi, for the opportunity more than anything.
Thank you. Thank you. This is so great. I love it. And I am very thrilled to welcome Armando to Coffee Conversations. Good morning. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, buenos días a todos. Good morning, everybody. My name is Armando Salgado. Thank you, Heidi, for having me here today with all these great, beautiful faces. Very excited to share a little bit more about what we do here within this great industry that everybody's in.
I love it. I love it. Welcome so much. We're so excited to have you. Um, and DJ, hello. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here with you, with everybody, share my time, my knowledge. It's good opportunity for to express everything I have in my mind for to share with the different people. It's excited to be here. Thank you for this invitation.
Thank you. So excited to have you on the show. This is going to be excellent. Great, great. And Moises, we're so happy to have you on the show. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company.
Oh my goodness. So my name is Moises, and as you guys can tell, right, by the look, I'm actually in Vegas. And so, you can call me Elvis Morales today. But no, so real quick, my name is Moses. I started my company. Actually, dude, I was just thinking about it. I moved to Vegas in 2017, yesterday, however many years ago. So that's crazy.
Wow.
And so I was just looking at the data and I was like, oh man, I got to Vegas October 1st, 2017. And I'm like, that was yesterday. That was so cool. And so, we do a little bit of everything. So roofing, PA work, HVAC, restoration, and I've been grateful enough to be part of the Para Latinos team since I mean, Julissa, I want to say kind of since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That's awesome.
And
That is.
yeah.
Wow. Well, welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited to hear everyone's stories, and I really want to introduce and welcome Mike. Thank you, Mike, for being with us. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Hey, good morning, guys. My name is Mike Monterroso. I am from Oklahoma, raised in California, originally from Guatemala. I am the owner of Lions Crown Consulting. I've been doing this for about 22 years now, from roofing to just construction, concrete, you name it. Been doing it for a long time, and met up with Julissa back in 2021. Came with an awesome idea to the table about, doing this Latino program to help out the Latino contractors. And I thought it was the most awesome idea I've ever heard. And joined the team, and it's been growing since, and love seeing the growth among all the Hispanics, stepping up and putting that fear behind them. So I'm excited to see what the future holds.
I love it. I love it. Well, I am excited to not only see what the future holds, but also to hear some of your stories. So I kind of want to start out because I think it's important. People all the time will say, well, how did you get in roofing? Well, I really didn't plan on getting in roofing, or my family's in roofing, or whatever. But there's a lot of different ways that we kind of all get here. So I want to take this morning because I think this is important. I think there's a lot of people who we want to attract to roofing, and they need to hear these stories, right? And they need to know. So Julissa, let's start with you. How in the heck did you get into roofing, and kind of tell us what your journey's been like so far?
Yeah, thank you. So I come from the dental industry prior to roofing. So basically wanted to finish my marketing degree. I go back to school, I finish it. SRS is a corporate sponsor for our sales center at Kennesaw State University. I'm from Georgia, grew up in Georgia. And really what inspired me to go into the roofing industry was someone who's been a mentor to me my whole life. So huge shout out to Chad Stanton, who recruited me to come to SRS. And I was really inspired when I interviewed with him because at that time he was a branch manager. So I remember like going to the branch in Marietta, Georgia, and just like seeing someone who was like getting off a forklift and like doing what it takes to get the job done. And I really identified with that person because in Latino culture, you're taught to just, hey, you do what it takes to get it done, right? Whether you're sweeping, whether you're cleaning toilets, whether you're at the front counter, whether you're making calls, like there's nothing that I wouldn't do that I wouldn't expect somebody else to do. So I really fell in love with like just like leadership by example. I'm huge on that. And so I was like, wow, like I really feel like I could be part of this. And I was very inspired by that. And so I was like, I've never looked at a roof. I don't know any roofers, even though there's a huge, Latino community within the roofing industry. I was like, it can't be rocket science, right? I mean, I didn't know dental and I did it for 8 years. So let's just jump into this. So I say I go from like being in people's mouths to on the roof. So that's kind of how my career started. I was a territory manager back in 2014. And at that time, I was the only female territory manager for SRS within the Atlanta market. but also a Latina, right? So it comes with heavy weight, right? Number one, from being like an example of, hey, as a woman, yes, you can be part of this too. There's a lot of, thoughts that, hey, it's a male dominated industry and women don't thrive in it. But I will say, ladies, if you are on, it's a beautiful career industry. There's so many women that are so successful within the industry, from being manufacturing reps to being, on the distribution side, to being your own business owner, to having flexible job opportunities as sales reps, working for, roofing contractors. I just really, at that time, I was like, I didn't really understand the roofing industry had so many different career paths. Because when you think
Mhm.
roofing, most people think, oh, you're on the roof, like putting shingles on, right? Not the
Yeah.
sexiest industry per se for a female, but it's so full of opportunities. They say once you're in roofing, you never leave. And so here I am,
Nah.
2025, since 2014. So it's been a beautiful journey. Just seeing how the industry's been more inclusive. So 2017, Heidi, I know we started like National Women in Roofing, and
That's where we
met
met.
you
Yeah.
at one of our Atlanta events, because I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh my goodness, like I get to meet more females within the industry. And for me, originally it was kind of a lonely journey, but being part of National Women in Roofing really gave me the empowerment, gave me the support, gave me the relationships that I was seeking as being the only female and Latina. So I think, being part of that truly helped me from mentorship and just feeling like I had a place and I
Yeah.
belonged. And then obviously from there, now we see the, roofing industry shifting to really including Hispanic roofing community when it comes to resources, education, and just really, saying, we see you as more than just the labor. We see you as business owners, entrepreneurs. And if we can share the information and mentor one another, just like National Women in Roofing did for me, then that's what, we're about.
That is so true. And I want to come back to that. We're going to come back to that later because I think that mentoring part is so important. So Armando, how did you get into roofing and kind of how did it bring you to where you are today?
Yeah, so roofing actually started when I was 18 years old. Believe it or not, I had purchased my first house when I was 18, and small little house. I had
Still.
a roofer actually from Texas. You know, he was up in Nebraska, maybe chasing a storm. Knocked on my door, and while I was dealing with him, he's like, "Hey, do you speak Spanish?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." He's like, "Would you like a job right now?" And I'm like, what's going on here? From selling me a roof to offer me a job. And he's like, I need a guy that can talk to my, Hispanic installers. I'm like, well, how much does it pay? Of course. So he's like, you know what? If you work for me, I will give you your roof for free. Like no questions asked. That'll be your signing bonus. And I'm like, heck yeah, man, I'll freaking do it. I was thinking I can quit like in a month or something.
Yeah.
But I became a canvasser. I had no clue either. I mean, I that was kind of like my journey into the contracting, officially into the contracting roofing business a long time ago. And now, with the businesses that I have, I've surrounded myself with a lot of contractors, a lot of Latino contractors, and offering. I founded the Lingo Docs Marketing, which offers a lot of stuff to this industry. United Hispanic Contractor Association as well, to continue training the industry, and Build Mas, which is an estimating software for the Hispanic industry. So I've always wanted to help the small Hispanic businesses to scale and connect them with other bigger opportunities, bigger contractors, and show them that profitability and professionalism go hand in hand, right? So it's been a great journey, and now meeting Julissa, of course, SRS, and all these wonderful people have I can see the journey continuing on a whole lot, many more years.
Yeah. It is. It's so, what a gift bilingual, right? Look, he's like, I want to hire you. That is just such a gift and so important as we are moving forward. And I love the fact that he's like, I'll give you the roof, just come work in the roofing industry. I
Got a
mean,
job and a
I
free
don't
roof, man. You can't beat that.
I don't think I've heard that before. That's good. I'm holding on to that one. Gijay, tell us, how did you get into roofing and kind of where did it bring you today?
Okay. I came from Colombia here 5 years ago to La
Okay.
Florida. Somebody called me to me and invited me to work in the industry of the roofing. Yeah, I started with like docking doors. Yeah, we sell. With the time, uh, I started to sell roofing, but in this time, in those times, I didn't speak nothing. Right now, I am learning
Wow.
English, right? Okay, but
Yeah,
in this
you're good.
in those times, I didn't speak nothing. But I started knocking doors, selling roofing. With the time, I had the opportunity for to becoming in project manager. Yeah, and I started with knowledge in everything about the construction. Yeah, one day I went training in SRS. I see how the people started the industry without knowledge in business, but with a lot knowledge in the in the work, in the installation, and everything that. Okay, Yulisa, everything around her motivate to me for to create my own company. Okay, I started my company with the help of a lot of people. Right now, understand everything about the construction, but I had the knowledge too about the business. Yeah,
Mhm.
I started combination that and create my company. Right now, I grow my company and I teach the people how to do the business. Right now, the people know how to do everything about the labor. Yeah, but the people don't know how to do the business. Yeah, right now, I try teach everything then in my knowledge and my experience I I has been with the time.
Yeah. Wow. That is inspirational. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Wow. Very cool. Moises, tell us your story, your journey.
Oh, well, it all started when I was born back in 89. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
No, it's before this, I was actually knocking doors, selling internet, phone, and TV, right? And I did that for about 5 years. Just kind of chasing a dream, I guess, that was sold to me back then. And eventually, a buddy of mine left the industry, and I guess he tells me that I called him a little bit after he left, right? He left of September. I called him in February. And I was like, hey man, what's life outside of CenturyLink? He's like, dude, it's great. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm selling roofs. It's like selling roofs. I'm like, you don't go to like Home Depot to get one to go? And he's like, no, bro, there's a whole process to it. And so I went and knocked doors on a Saturday with him. And in 5 hours, I did what in CenturyLink took me 5 days. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way this is real. And sure enough, I came back the following Saturday to pick up my check from the first Saturday. And I was like, can I come back like today? Can we do it again? And sure enough, right? Like I went back and did it again. And gosh, I was back in February 2017, right? And then I had the opportunity, I started with the company and I had the opportunity to move to Vegas on October. And I took that. And it was one of those where I'm like, hey, I like it, right? And at that point, it was more for I was chasing the money, right? Because it was
Yeah.
like I was getting married, I like CenturyLink wasn't paying that much. So the fact that I was making okay money, I was like, yes, I'll take it. But then as time went on within the company and my company, uh I started realizing like, hey, this is bigger than just money. Like this is bigger than just like a roof. And so it became a true passion of wanting to, because think about it, as roofers, like we're actually protecting homes, right? we're protecting,
Yeah.
you know, for a lot of people is what's inside of under that roof, right? Which is their families, their loved ones, right? So for some people it's, you know, their possessions. For other people it's an investment. We're protecting that. And so it started becoming more of a passion where like, oh, whoa, what we're doing, it's not just changing a roof, it's we're providing opportunity, we're giving jobs, we're doing all this, right? And then, man, fast forward to COVID, where you know I thought we were gonna, you know, shut down because you really didn't know what was gonna happen. I got the amazing pleasure of getting to meet Julissa through the Zoom call, right? Through that what was it, Julissa? It was like Power Profit something online something.
Yeah, so we started doing webinars, and I remember like I reached out to the manufacturers and I knew education was so important. So like I was connected with Moises. I at that time I know you were with ICO. You had a really good relationship with Mark Pass, who I still love
Uh-huh.
dearly. And he was like, you've got to meet Moises, like he's amazing. So that's how I met Moises, and then obviously Mike, met him through Certainteed. So I've met many beautiful people through various manufacturers as I was reaching out and saying, hey, who are good people that I could collaborate with and be on this journey when it comes to the education side from a contractor standpoint. So
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
So
No,
cool.
and that was so cool because you know it began what the story is now, right? And so you know, we really didn't know where this was gonna go. And here we are 5 years later. Like think about the thousands of contractors that we've already impacted. And we were having this conversation earlier, Heidi, that it was more of you know, changing generations now. Really think
Yes.
about it.
Yes, future generations
Yeah.
and yeah, and what you're doing and really teaching and education and bringing best practices. I mean, it is all so important. And I love this. I love it. Mike, give us your journey too. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about what you were talking about earlier on the Para-Latino. So, Mike, tell us how you got in and how it all worked.
I've been around for a while, I guess. Feel like an old man. Started in '03. My uncle was running subcontracting, roofing crews. Came to me and said, "Hey, you speak English and Spanish. I need someone to go and find work." So went with him at 17 years old. Went and knocked doors. Not knocked doors. We went to knock on actual companies, looking for work, as subcontractors.
Mhm.
Did that for a while until I found out that, he would give me like $50 each house that we would get. And of course, now I'm like, man, he was getting me there. So, but he taught me everything, got into running my own crews, had 2 crews running for a while, and I was working with one of the bigger companies here in Oklahoma, and one of the owners just recognized, the hard work, and he came to me and said, "Hey, I want you to come work for us directly," and I was like, "Okay." So I, I didn't know anything on that side of the industry, so I went and started just running materials to job sites. We call him a runner, just back and forth, and next thing I know, him and the owner came to me and was like, "Hey, we really think that, we have something special here. So we want you come into the office." And so I took over and started running the production for them. That was a big step for them because, back then they didn't have that bilingual. There was such a barrier. There's still some now, but back then was really tough. So I came in and started a relationship and just turned it around on as far as production. That's where I learned that for me, you know, production is a huge part of the roofing experience for a customer. I've always said 25% is sales, 50% is production, and the other 25 is closing, collecting. Because that experience, is how you treat them. You're banging on their roof. they see their house like it looks like a bomb exploded, and they're like, you got to be able to keep them calm and make them understand that, hey, we're making this better. A lot of people don't know first owners that own their first house the first year, they have no idea
Mm-mm.
what that's like. And so I learned that from a very, I guess you could say, young age, that customer service went a long way. So I put that, ran with it, and then I got out of the roofing industry and went into concrete for about 5 years. And then I just can't get out of roofing. I got a buddy started a company, said, I need you to come help me run it. I went, left my, uh, as a corporate job, with concrete, and decided to get back in the roofing industry. Went to it, helped him build his company. And that's when I learned, okay, I want to be able to make a difference here. I saw on the labor side, they were paying so little, when I knew the insurance side, so
Yeah.
I wanted to even the playing field. So I started my own company, and started in paying, not bottom dollar with my guys. So everyone wanted to come work for me because we were paying, pretty good. But we also had an expectation from every crew, that this is what we want if you want to get paid. And same thing with sales, so that leadership role really played a huge, part of me, how I run things. And I started seeing that, you put time and value into people, from as simple as a runner that goes just back and forth to all the way to your general manager is huge. And in 2021, like I said, me and Certainty been together for a long time. They came to me and they're like, hey, we want you to meet with this girl named Jalissa. And, I'm like, okay, I went to Vegas, I believe, and met with her, and we sat down in a small little room, just about 6 contractors. And she told us what she was trying to do. And I was like, man, I want to be part of this. This is nothing in the
So
industry
cool.
right now, for Latinos. And she started this journey, and it's just been growing since. And now it's just, coming to this huge, that, everybody's in it, which is
Yeah.
huge. When they start seeing what you're doing and they want to do the same thing, you're doing something positive, something good, and you're doing it the right way.
You're
So
really bringing the people in. That's the
yeah,
thing. You've grown this group, and Mike, I love hearing what you're saying because I really correlate, Julissa, what you've done with Para Latinos to what we did with National Women in Roofing. And so I know that feeling, how it just takes you, you just are so happy. So I want to hear more about this little room that Mike was talking about, and how you guys were in there, and how it really started, and not and how Para Latinos has grown, because it's really, I know it's SRS. I mean, I don't want to miss that or anything, but Para Latinos is also, it has taken on its own culture, its own movement within the industry, much as so many others have, of bringing Latinos, Hispanic culture to such a beautiful place, and empowering businesses. Talk to us about how it started, and kind of all these gentlemen and the MVP program, and how it's all kind of coming together.
Yeah, so it started with just really me taking my territory manager experience, because I was hired. It's funny, like we have very similar stories on how being bilingual kind of brought us in, right? And gave us
Yeah.
that foot
Yeah.
to like get into something that we never imagined would be this big, right? So I remember when I started, they were like, "Hey, we want you to call on all the Hispanic contractors," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm good. I'm bilingual, so yeah, let's do it." But then what I started to realize is, as a company, we weren't really set up to really service the Hispanic roofing community. So I kind of just took, hey, It happened in 2019. Dan Tinker brought a group of Hispanic employees to McKinney, Texas, 2019. And he said, hey, how could we be a better company, not just for Hispanic customers, but also our employees? And so I'm very outspoken. So I was like, hey, we need a Latino leader that can advocate the needs of the Hispanic community. And so like less than 60 days later, Latino program manager was created, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like somebody heard me. I can't believe they acted that quick about it. I was all excited. And then COVID happens, and I'm like, oh my God, like, is this still happening? Is it not? And so they were like, no, this is very important for the company. We still want you to come to McKinney. And so really it just took me taking my TM experience as a territory manager to say, hey, it's unfortunate that, I build a relationship with the customer, but when I'm not in the store and they come to the store, they walk back out because nobody speaks Spanish at our store. So it was like little things like, hey, do we have somebody that's Spanish speaking at the front counter to just give a better service experience overall when you come and see our SRS locations? From an educational standpoint, it was like, hey, I'm reaching out to the vendors and I'm like, do you have a bilingual trainer? Most of them were like, no, we don't. So I took it upon myself to translate and do trainings, at my branch, because I always knew education was a huge part of what we wanted to do. And I was doing it as a sales rep already because I always believe in helping customers grow.
Right.
And so, I knew that there was a huge gap in training resources in Spanish. I knew there was a huge gap from us as a company to provide the best customer service. I know there's a huge gap when it comes to credit, right? So from a credit perspective, you can't really grow if you don't have credit lines. So talking to credit and saying, hey, we need to have a Spanish credit application because as a TM, I used to have to fill it out for my customer. So it's been the little tweaks that, we needed. We started our Spanish social media channels. Like, how can people stay in the loop? How can we promote things in Spanish and build that community, right? How do we start our communication channels and setting the standard that, communications are bilingual moving forward? So it just really took that and it's been building blocks from year one webinars to like year two, which is IRE, which is kind of where we announced the program, Heidi,
Yeah.
Las Vegas,
We were there.
2021. We did our first like little para Latinos cocktail party. I did the dinner where I met Mike and a group of, other contractors that were part of that dinner where we sat down and said, hey, what are the biggest challenges? How could we support you? What are the things that are missing? And so, it's really taken shape of the feedback that, that dinner gave us, kind of enabled us to get to step number 2. And then step number 3 was basically IRE in New Orleans, where we did the first Para Latino Lounge. And I'm nervous because I'm like, oh my God, nobody's gonna come. We've never done it before. It's COVID too, so a lot of people aren't traveling, but I knew deep down it has to be successful. We have to be able to like demonstrate to the industry that like this is very much needed. And there was a huge pressure on me because I was like, this has to work. This has to be successful because if it's not, then we can't make this bigger. And so from there, it's grown to where we are today, like 4 years later, going on 5, from our first kind of in-person events since COVID. And it just keeps, scaling and elevating and we keep adapting as we go.
Yeah. It's watching it over the years, it's just been so inspiring. And Mike, as you were kind of sitting in there saying, I mean, first the fact that people were asking questions like, what can we do better? How can we do things better? How important was that to your business and to the culture of your company and community, that someone was actually, like you said, and you kind of said it earlier, someone was actually putting this together and bringing everyone together?
Well, it was huge because, me being around, for a long time, there was nothing even remotely even close to what she was trying to put together. So,
Yeah.
I was never asked, hey, how can we help you? Or, hey, what do you need help in? What are your struggles? You know, so being asked those questions from somebody, first of all, I didn't really know her, you know, and I could tell that she really cared regardless, you know, and then you know, SRS was big already, you know, as a company, but you're seeing that this giant corporation asking you, how can we help you? Like that
Right.
to me was just wow, okay. And then I think that the biggest thing is I told her, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, they're listening, you know, they're
What's
listening,
happening?
they followed up, you know, that it wasn't just, hey, what's going on? And then we'll see you in 2 years. And, you know, we forgot about this conversation. So yes, absolutely. It helped. The credit was huge, you know, because she's right. You know, most of us on, you know, Hispanic side, credit is like, we don't want to do, we want to pay everything with cash. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you have to be able to have that cash flow to be able to, you know, jump on the next roof and the next roof. So to be able to have somebody who's trusting you come in and saying, hey, here's an X amount, we're trusting you're gonna pay it. And us as Hispanics, you know, we keep our word and be able to have that, build that relationship on just you know, a handshake and somebody's word is huge, you know. So it was definitely, I was excited about it. And the thing about it, I don't think I was ready for it to grow as fast as it did. Like we started in this little room, you know, and next thing we know is like, oh, we got a workshop. Oh, no, workshop. And then I was going to the events to, you know, as just go and support her, you know, go support
Mhm.
SRS para Latino. So, you know, I was taking time out of my schedule to go over there because I believed in what Julissa was trying to get moving, you know, and SRS was doing. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna support him in every way possible. So um I just to me it's awesome to be part of something that has been in creation in 4 or 5 years and gone as big as it is just it's an awesome experience.
And see, I just love that. And Moises, I love you're just like nodding. And so tell us about, you know, because you were part of that, the early bringing it all together
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Man, so yeah, it's just it's you know, as we're talking about this, like it's giving me the opportunity to reminisce on the past, right? Like think about, like what it's been. And you know, I tell you a funny story. Well, not funny, but like I'm never gonna forget the IRE in New Orleans. Oh my goodness. I got again, I got the opportunity to be the first speaker
Wow.
for the SRS para Latinos, like little booth, right? And gosh, I don't know if you remember, Julissa, but you know, I was super nervous and I was like, all right, we got this, like, you know, big stage, let's go, right? And we only had 3 people in there, like the first class, 3 people. And so it was one of those where like, all right, you know, 3 people, hey, that's something, let's give it all to these 3 people, right? Fast forward to last year's IRE, they had to kick us out. They had to kick it. They literally, lights were off. People were already taking down all their, you know, booths and everything. The carpets were coming off, like, and we were still going. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was so much fun
It was.
because in the room was packed. Like the booth within the SRS para Latinos within IRE, like packed. And to be able, like, I remember, like I told everybody, I was like, I gotta take a picture of this because you know. And so you know, to watch it go from like just 3 people to, like I mentioned earlier, right, thousands across the nation
Yeah.
now. It's one of those where, man, and the best part about it, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, it feels like we just started. It feels
Yeah.
like we just started. And
Yeah.
so it's that, you know, yes, I am always like this because it's like, yeah, it's a movement. It's, you mentioned that it's a movement that
Yeah.
it's not just happening for a short amount of time, or it's not just happening for, you know, the trend of the hour, right?
Right.
This is like forever. And
Yeah.
and for us to be here, and most importantly, for Julissa to be the one leading it, it's something I think extremely special, because as a leader, you know that you're gonna take the first hits, like no matter
Yeah.
what. And that's why all you know, four of us are here alongside with Julissa, like, hey, we're also the support to show her, like, we're here with you, like,
Yeah.
no matter what, and to the end of the line, right? Because at the end of the day, like we mentioned, we're changing generations. We're changing the thoughts and stigma and dogma of what people think of what the Latino community is, and showing them, like, hey, no, we're here, like, we love to work and we love to have fun, but we're also serious when it comes to business, right?
Right. Right. I
And
yeah.
sorry, Heidi, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just really excited because
Me
I
too.
do want to share something. So we just wrapped up like our like next level 2-day training experience in Las Vegas. We had the JF Mastermind, and
Mhm.
one of the contractors who was there was part of that dinner, Mike, that we had
Wow.
August 2021, Pablo Loa. So I remember, and I keep this note, and it's on my phone right here. And I remember like leaving that dinner, and he writes me a handwritten note. So the note I'm going to share with you guys.
Uh,
When it comes to English industry events, I back myself from coming. I have to bring my son in order to come to events like this in order for me to communicate and for him to translate for me. I really like this event because I felt like I was able to communicate with people that are Spanish speakers just like me. My English limits myself from coming to events like this and participating. So I saw Pablo this weekend and I was like, Pablo, I still have the note you gave me back in 2021 when we were at the dinner to today. We're in Las
yeah.
Vegas. We're doing a 2-day training experience. It's the next level of work our education program has taken, the experience for the contractor. So him and I just had this like reminiscing moment, and I'm like, and look at us now. We're doing like a
Yeah.
2-day training event. We're in Las Vegas and you're here still. And so I think for him, he was like teary-eyed as I'm like showing him the note that he wrote to me. And it was just such a special moment, right? But as we're reminiscing on like how we make impact, and when we look back to, where we are today, it's just beautiful to be able to share testimonies like that one, and how we really are making impact, not just for us, but all the people that are coming behind us.
Yeah. You gave me chills there. I'm just like, and a little teary too. I just love that. And Guiche, you have to be like, you are learning English, as you said, you've learned it, you've lived, you've traveled this, and now you're teaching as an MVP, helping. How important is that to you to really kind of empower the Spanish speaking community?
Okay, it's crazy when you come here in this new country. You don't know the language. You wanna create your business. It's scary for everybody. When you find support and somebody are think in difficulties you have with that, and look for that way for to give you that tools for to grow your business in your same language, is
Yeah.
excited. It's easier. Like to me, when I came here, when I started to the training with as SRS, I I didn't understand nothing in English, but I had the opportunity for get knowledge in Spanish. They look for the people correctly for to explain everything in Spanish that people don't have before this opportunity. This training was created for the people speaking English, yeah, but the people don't speak English, don't don't wanna go, or
Right.
maybe can't go this training because don't get the knowledge. Right now, everybody come to these trainings and had the opportunity for speak in their language, in nuestra lengua. The knowledge, Julissa, are making good job. Look for everything that people need for to put in growing the business. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
good for everybody. It's excited. when you go to the trainings, and you can find different people speaking Spanish, share knowledge. Everybody has different knowledge in different levels, yeah. But
Yes.
always you can learn something the other persons. Yeah, always. It's exciting. Everybody when are in these trainings, you can see feels is more. I think SRS with Lisa get that people believe in himself. Right now, I believe in myself. Right now, example. Right now, I am trying speaking English when I don't know how to speak well English, but I try. Maybe with these people maybe don't know how to do the good business, but when she bring everything for them for to get everything they need, started to believe in himself. Hey, I can go for the next level.
Yeah. Oh man, I love this. I love that. And Armando, we have a question in the chat that I want to direct to you and then have everybody else chime in and help on this because I think it's such a great question. It really kind of goes to the heart of what we're talking about. And it's from Tammy Hall, our dear friend out of Florida. She says, as we are wrapping up recognition of Hispanic Heritage Month, how can we move beyond surface level acknowledgments to ensure our recognition of Latino culture is authentic, respectful, and meaningful, both internally with our teams and I mean, Tammy is with a large commercial roofing contractor out of and residential out of Florida. So she works with multiple cultures and teams and languages, both internally with our team and externally with our community. So Armando, can you kind of start us out off on that question? Such a great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. You know, I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, and but the Latino community within the United States, if you put all the Hispanic, communities put together, we would be the 5th largest GDP in the world. So we would be the 5th, largest country in the world, bigger than like Japan and some Europe countries and all that within the United States. So the buying power for the Latino community is, like I said, is trillions of dollars that we inject into this country by the hard workers, that you're looking here on this screen. I do want to, commend Jaleesa for taking on that role. Several years ago when this whole thing started, and SRS for believing in her to make sure that we this GDP of buying power and work becomes a whole lot greater. So I started with SRS. I'm gonna say, like I said, a year ago, 2 years ago, when they were here in Omaha doing a training within for the roofing industry, and that's where I connected with them and talking to them about helping the Latino communities within their business management and financial acumen. So roofing is not just installing shingles and knocking on doors, but it's managing your company to become more profitable. The Latino community, in my opinion, are the hardest working people. I'm a little biased in that, but we need a little bit more education, more training. Like what type of legal structures works better for them, accounting, what's P&L, what's cash flow, what are tax brackets, insurance, estimating, etc. A lot of people that are not even Latino may not even know some of those things. So imagine, our community coming in from, our different countries may not have that education, but we know that they will work sun up to sun down to making sure that their families and the people that work for them are being fed. So there's a lot of professionals within these different aspects of businesses, but proper management will allow them to keep their doors open, right? But not a lot of them have that bilingual or bicultural. So that's very important, right? You can speak Spanish, but do you understand the community? Do you understand the culture, and how do you talk to them?
Yeah.
That's very important that you understand what they're going through, not just talking to them. I mean, Google can talk to you in Spanish, but does Google really understand what you're going through, right? To making sure that they get it, they practice it, and they get a bigger, bite of the American dream. So I know SRS is and para Latinos, and all these people in this screen, the MVPs, help these Latino contractors make their dreams come true.
I love it. And really, that's probably your answer is perfect for what Tammy is asking is it's about education and opportunity,
Mhm.
right? And that and respect that we do those things. Julissa, I would love kind of your thoughts on Tammy's question too.
Yes, I'm sitting here writing notes as I'm thinking, how do we get beside, okay, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, September, October.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to say to all who are wanting to build the better relationships with your teams is get to know your teams. Like simply ask about their family. Hey, how's your son doing? Hey, how's your uncle doing? Go to that family event. For Latinos, we always celebrate baptisms, birthdays, quinceañeras, whatever it is. Like to us, it means so much to have someone who's not Hispanic, a coworker who's like, hey, I'm willing to put myself out there and come to an event where I probably will be the only like non-Spanish speaker here, but I'm here because I care, because I truly want to get to know more about your community, your culture, what you guys are about. I want to get to know your family. So I think it's not as difficult as we think it is. It's just being curious and asking, Latinos are all about family. Just by
Yeah.
you asking your employee, hey, how's your husband doing? Hey, how's your wife doing? How's your kid? Did your kid win that baseball game this weekend? I mean, it's simply just developing relationships. You can always start with family. You will never go wrong. And if you're invited to the cookout or that Latino party, then you're liked and you're in. So I would say I'll keep it as simple as that. And that's what I would encourage people to do to get closer
Yeah.
to their teams.
Well, I think one of the things, and I know I can't believe how fast this hour has gone, but one of the things we talked about too, and that you all talked about in, your journeys and stuff, is that importance of mentorship. And I think being a mentor we talked about this, and I'm just putting it because it's something I can understand is that with when we started National Women in Roofing, we were like, well, if we don't see women in leadership roles, if we don't see them, how do we find those mentors? And I think it's exact, it's the exact same thing. You all are mentors, and people see your successful businesses. They see how great you've done and what a huge part of this industry is. So that brings the younger people, Latinos and Latinas, who want to be in roofing because they have you as examples. It's so critical. So Mike, you are the one who said that earlier. I would just love your thoughts on just the importance of mentorship to the community.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the things I'm always telling these guys is like, even as a owner, a GM, whatever leadership that you're going to take on in a company, you always have to seek out leadership for your own self. Um, you can't, like I think Gia said it. Um, we're always learning from each other. So mentoring, education, and training is so important. And I didn't have that 15 20 years ago. I didn't have anybody to tell me, hey, this is how you do this, and this is how you know you create a culture within your company. So always look for that mentoring, that leadership, that training, because as you're showing your people that are under you, helping them develop as leaders, and as far as even the crew guys, send them to that training that they're going to have for free at SRS, with whoever brand is pushing it, so they know the importance of how, hey, like Julissa said, you're able to create that relationship,
Yeah.
and they go, okay, they care enough, they want us to go to training, they remembered us, so that mentoring is so important, and then finding the right people to also, help you develop is so important too. There's a lot of people out there, who do it for the wrong reason, unfortunately. And that's one of the things that we have here on this table is that we don't look at the money dollar signs. We look at my compensation. And I've called and I've texted Moises and you listen to them, where I have people call me or send me a text message and they're like, man, we just, we had 30 houses, ready to go. We didn't have any last month, or
Yeah.
hey man, I just got my logo on my truck. It all wins. Their wins for us, it's like the money is gonna follow
Right.
no matter what. It's always gonna follow you. But the leadership, the right mentality that you set for your team as a goal, that's going to create that culture within the company, and people are always going to be happy. Always ask them, you know, just like I was asked, 5 years ago, what can I do for you? What are you struggling with? What do you need help with? You need to ask that within your company. But as leaders, all of us here, we bounce off each other, and we're learning to be able to grow into that. So yes, absolutely, find a good mentor, a training, anything that be able to put positive back into you, because then you're going to trickle down to your inside of your company.
I I just love this so much. And so, Moises, I just want you to kind of bring us home a little bit on the excitement of going to these events, having it in Spanish, and then we're going to have Julissa take us out with what the opportunities are. So, Moises, one last thing. Just how important is it for everyone to go to these events and help each other?
Goodness, there's stigma in our industry that, it's a saying that unfortunately we all know in Spanish is el peor enemigo de un Latino is another Latino, right? The Latino's biggest enemy is another Latino, unfortunately. And that's
Okay.
something that's been going on for years, right? So we want to shift, and this is the shift that's happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's currently happening, right? We're throwing that in the trash because it no longer serves us, right? So now we're focusing on actually, the best helper, the best leader, the best companion for one Latino is actually another Latino. Why? Because we understand the struggles. We know what you're going through. We've been through it, right? And because we're going through it, right, it doesn't mean that you're alone. If you as an individual, you're going through some struggles, you're not alone. Like here is an example of the people that have gone through it, and through help, support, coaching, training, shoot, even a simple call or even a note written, right, can definitely make an entire impact. And so one of the things that I encourage you guys is to come to these events, to follow SRS, to follow every single one of us, to know, for you guys to know, like, hey, we're here to help you. We're here to get you to the next level, right? We've been through the trenches already. And so, that's a cool thing. As leaders, we're not stopping. Like we're not gonna just, all right, well, good luck, right? No, we want to be the next. We want to, like Julissa mentioned there earlier, there's a lot of generations coming behind us. A lot of generation comes behind us. So we want to be the people that help these people understand, like, look, you're gonna go through some struggles, but guess what? We're here to help you. We're here to push you. We're here to get you out of that hole. We're here to get you into a better position. And again, that whole Latino's biggest enemy is another Latino. Throw that into the trash. That no longer serves us, right? Look at it in a different way, where hey, a Latino's biggest supporter will be another Latino.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man, now I really have chills. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, on the screen, you can see all the events that are coming up. All these gentlemen are speaking at these events. They aren't all at the same, but they'll be at different ones. So check it out. Go to the website. Um, I'm just overwhelmed. Julissa, Congratulations to everything that you've built over the years. And just tell us real quick about IRE and how amazing it's going to be and how everybody should attend.
Oh my God. So IRE 2026 will be in Las Vegas. Come by, join the community at the SRS booth. So we're gonna be the SRS booth. We'll have the Para Latinos lounge within the booth. So we're
great.
really, really excited to be able to continue to be like a meeting point for all Latinos in the industry to come in and engage with us and be part of the amazing experience that this industry gives us. And come listen to music, drink a beer, watch one of our speakers present. It's open invite, so I hope to see all of you guys there, and we're really, really excited for us to really continue to make this bigger than it's been over the years.
Well, I'm excited. We're always there. Jessica will be there. We'll be there. We celebrate every year with it's just always so happy and so great and so much fun. I am going to say right here that I would like to invite all of you to come back and do another coffee conversations all in Spanish with our sweet Jessica. So yes, we will do this all in Spanish, and we'll talk about all the resources and everything so that we can use this too. So everyone out there, hold out for that. Probably happening early 2026. So thank you all so much. I've been so inspired today. Thank you, SRS. You guys rock. It's just so amazing. And hey, talk about being inspired. Join us next week for the next gen. So we have another group coming in who are going to be talking about this next generation and how important it is and where roofing is bringing it in. So thank you all. Have a great day. And thank you, my panelists, again. We'll be seeing you guys next week.
Muchas gracias.
Bye.
Gracias. Thank you so much.